It's like a guitar.
Hey guys, and welcome back yet again to This Life We Live, where we are building our dream house, a modern style barndominium from scratch. As you can see, we are almost done with the outside. We have the great big grand reveal coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you are not subscribed, you do not want to miss this because it is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to show you what the outside of this is finally going to look like. So many people would really enjoy to see what we have going on. So definitely hit the thumbs up to let the algorithm know that other people might like it too. Today, we are going to be covering the electric in our house. Now, usually electric is pretty complicated from the get-go, but this bad girl over here, well, we've got a lot of surprises planned for her, so that constitutes a lot of additional electrical wire run and planning done. We'll get to the planning next week, so definitely stay tuned for that. But today we're going to be getting the lines run with our electrician. He's up for hire. He's an amazing guy. His information is in the video description down below. Today we are also going to be going through painting our doors. Now, a lot of you guys, you grab a paintbrush and you go to it, or maybe a roller. We're going to show you a little bit more professional way to get a very effective coat on your brand new doors. We are also going to go through and build just a couple little entry steps to go from our garage into our house instead of having to jump and break our leg. Let's go. So one of the issues with having a custom colored door is that you can't always get them in the doors that you want. Either they're out of stock or they simply don't make them. So today we're going to go through and we're actually going to paint the door. So right here we have a Pella door. This was a finished Pella door. It's been finished in white. Erik got this on Facebook Marketplace, and he is a painter by trade, an auto body painter, which even though it's a different material, it's still the same sort of process. And step one with any door, whether it's already painted or not painted, you're going to go through and you're going to scuff the door using a Scotch-Brite pad. So what type of Scotch-Brite scrubber is this? Just a red Scotch-Brite? Doesn't have anything else, just a red color? So the idea isn't to scrape the paint off, but just to scuff it so it's not smooth anymore. Now when you're scuffing the outside of your door, you want to make sure to get every little bit that's going to be painted. So that includes the outside of the jambs, all of the trim, the hinges, and the inside of the jamb, both on the door and on the inside of the frame. After you get done scuffing it, you're going to want to go through with a little bit of degreaser or a little bit of acetone or mineral spirits and wipe everything down to get all the dust and grime and any fingerprints off to allow your paint to adhere much better. When putting the paper on your door, you're going to want to leave about a 1-inch gap between the paper and the wood part that you're going to be painting. So the glass is going to be receiving the tape. The 1-inch gap allows you to stick both to the paper and to the glass and get right up to the very edge of the sill.
All right, so we're getting ready to paint the doors. I'm going to give you a quick run through on what we're using. I paint cars for a living, if you didn't know, and I'm going to be using automotive paint. So what you're going to need, some gloves if you want to keep your hands clean, optional. Tack rag, optional. You're going to need some lacquer thinner for cleaning your guns. I recommend a degreaser. And you don't have to, but I am going to put a black sealer down before we paint the doors. It's going to help with adhesion and durability. You're going to need some cups to mix your paint in, paint sticks to stir your paint, and this is a special paint stick with measuring on it. So the paint we're using, this is made by PPG. It's a hot rod black. It is a satin finish black. Works really good. It's a hardener. It's got hardener in it. So it's paint, hardener. So it's 4 parts paint to 1 part hardener. So if you dump all this into there, you'll be good. If you don't want to mix the full amount, you need a measuring stick. The sealer is a 3-part mixture. I pre-mixed this at work. I just did not add the hardener, but this does take a reducer and a hardener. So I already put the reducer in at work, and I'm just gonna mix. This is all on a scale at work mixed out, and I just did separate containers. Because once you add the hardener in it, then your window, you have a time frame. It's not ideal conditions today for painting. It's pretty windy, but we're gonna give it a shot. There goes the hardener.
Yeah,
Make sure you mix it up.
Stuff's really stinks.
It does.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So when you use this style of cups, you have to have a special adapter on your gun. But if you guys are doing this at home, I would recommend just going to Harbor Freight, picking up a cheap gun, and they have a plastic reusable cup that you're just gonna clean out.
But that didn't take a lot of stirring.
No.
So this is the,
Sealer.
okay, this is the black sealer.
Yep. It's a really dark gray, but they call it black.
So does it come in different colors or is it just,
White through, yeah, 6 different shades.
really? Oh.
So one of the things with adding this primer coat onto the door is that these are white doors getting a coat of black paint. So we want to make sure that none of that white sneaks through. So having a primer on ahead of time helps ensure that the white isn't going to slip in case you get an area that's covered a little bit too thin. And this almost looks black. The stuff dries pretty fast, so we're already moving on to doing the main black coat. Well, let's take a look at the doors. They are dried. They're still really dusty because dust is always going to be flying around here. Well, let's take a look. They feel just a little bit tacky maybe, but it's hard to say. So this is just a matte finish. Honestly, I like it. It looks good. It looks kind of unfinished, but it looks good. I mean, this is a semi-matte, I guess. You know, it's almost more of a blue-black than the vinyl or fiberglass, but, you know, it still looks really good. It looks fine. Hey, Rooster, come here and crow a second. I need you. So my son woke up this morning and he looks out the window and he's like, Mom, where are the workers? I said, they're not coming, honey. They're done. And now it is up to us to continue the work ourselves. Actually, they're still coming back to put the siding on, but that's not for a little while yet.
sadly, we have to get some other stuff done first, because before you can put the siding on, you have to go through and you have to run your electrical, at least the boxes, into where you're going to put them. So you have to plan that out because they have to put trim around them. Sometimes they can trim it out later on, but generally speaking, before all of that gets done, you put the electrical in, and then the final step is to put the siding on. Now, I know a lot of people leave the houses wrapped in house wrap for months, but a lot of people don't realize that house wrap is generally only rated for up to 3 months. After that, it starts to degrade and it does not perform the same as fresh house wrap. So before you make plans to side your house, you better double check on the longevity of your particular brand of house wrap and how long it can stay on the house exposed. Sunlight, wind, weather, all of it can degrade your house wrap, which makes it perform less down the road. So don't take unnecessary risks. Our builders are hopefully going to be back in less than 4 weeks, so that should be plenty enough time for our house wrap to sit there with no damage. And now, let's get to work ourselves.
Meet Jared. Jared is a master electrician. Normally, he works construction electrical, but he's decided that he would like to try to move into residential electrical. We managed to snag him from our neighbor's house, who was busy renovating an old farmhouse. And he had great reviews, so we twisted his arm into coming over to work on our house. This guy is one dedicated worker. He gets up at the crack of dawn, goes to work, and then after a long 12-hour shift, comes back to work on our house or someone else's house, putting in approximately 18 or so hours each day, plus coming in on the weekends, as he did here, to help install the soffit lights. Jared is available to work in the greater Grand Rapids area if you are interested in hiring somebody on to do your electrical work. He does a great job, he's easy to work with, and his contact information is in the video description if you're interested in checking him out. We decided to go through and put soffit lights in our soffit to really give our house a good pop. It was in the original picture and blueprints of our house when we found it online, and we really liked the idea. Erik went through and spaced them out according to how he thought they would space out the best. Now, one thing you have to take note of, if you're doing them on a house like this, that roof is angled on this house, which means that if you are not careful and you just put any sort of lighting in there, your light is going to extend out beyond the usable area. It's going to either flip inward right into your house walls, or it's going to flip all the way outward, blinding people randomly walking by. So you either want gimbal lights that can reflect downward, or you put angle bracketed light cans in the roof. At the time, we didn't know about the angle bracketed cans, and I don't even know if they made them in the right size we needed. So we ended up going with gimbal lights to add in later.
So how long does it usually take you to wire a whole house? 40 hours?
Yeah, roughly. 2 guys.
So there's 3 phases of wiring. The first phase is where you rough in, you run the wires, you put the boxes in, and then what's the second phase?
Run the wires, rough it in, we make all the ground pigtails up, and then after that, rough in all the lighting and get a rough-in inspection. Wait for the drywall to go on and paint it and finish it out with light fixtures and devices.
So your last step is essentially the last step of the whole house as far as the trades go.
Yep.
Because when you put drywall on, then you paint it too probably, and then you put the light fixtures in.
Yep, correct. Everything's got to be finished for electrical to be complete. Yep.
So that kind of proves to be fun because you got to wait a while sometimes.
Yeah, it could be a waiting process. Hopefully nothing changes in the end.
Man, that'd be tough, especially with longer house builds like this. So what are you figuring this is gonna take? You think this will take 40 hours like the other ones? You think it'll take more or less time?
40 hours, it'll be roughed in. Besides the vaulted cathedral ceiling.
Is that gonna prove to be a little bit of a thorn in your side?
Yeah, with it being up there, 19 foot. But it's gonna look good.
So you'll get to see it all completed then. See, that's the other thing, is because you are the last guy at the very end, you get to see kind of the finished project where the other guys don't really get to see that.
Yep, start to finish.
So do you think electrical is one of those pain in the butt things that people come in, they're like, oh, I didn't want that there, if you've got all the wire already run?
Oh yeah.
Because it's not like you can just recycle it like wood. You can recycle. I mean, wire you can a little bit, but
Yeah, we gotta make sure we cut it to length and do it right the first time. That's what we shoot for, but you know, some things change.
Really though, I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a lighting plan ahead of time. Before your electrician ever sets foot on your property, have a plan of where your lights are going to go, what kind of lights you're going to use, and where your outlets will be, and what will be plugged into those outlets, because that will help your electrician many, many times over and make things go quicker. We failed very badly at this point. We, like I said, hadn't been expecting to put utilities in this early. We had been planning months down the road, so we were not prepared for this. Consequently, as he began adding electrical outlets and wiring to the walls, I ran through really quickly with some painter's tape, wrote notes on it, and stuck it to the area where things needed to go. If something needed to be a single switch box, I wrote that. If something needed extra plugs, I wrote that. I made sure that every place I needed to change, I wrote it down and I taped it to the stud. Unfortunately, over the course of the next couple weeks, we had a lot of changes to be made on our house. But our poor electrician didn't breathe one complaint at all.
so we're going through and putting blocking on the walls. Interior walls is probably not required, but it does help sturdy the walls up immensely. And the other thing is, when you have wood this long,
Anything over 10 feet, they recommend block.
it helps with the bowing because those long boards. It's like a guitar. So I mean, structurally that's not.
Just after blocking.
Oh, the whole thing jiggles as a whole unit now. And these are not in any way supporting the ceiling, guys. Okay, this is a barn door, so everything is freestanding in here. And that's probably why it's also wiggly like that, is because it's not necessarily attached up top. The geese are mad because we have a goose out today. We're down to our last area of Christmas tree growth. So they're all gonna be loose for a little bit until we get their fencing put up. So we're gonna move them into the last patch. Now the nice thing about this is they stomp all of those thick, heavy weeds down. Weeds that none of our lawnmowers can eat through because they're so thick. So then they leave it like this over here, which is just a little bit scrubby, and the lawnmower can get through that pretty easily. So far, I think it's been a win-win situation. All right, so this is pretty much what they do. They just kind of peck around, waiting for some breakfast. Again, they don't have any water and they don't have any food, so they're definitely gonna be keeping an eye on me because I feed them every day and give them water. So we got the whole back fence line moved. Actually, I gotta put a corner stake, not there, down here. So pretty much this stuff lays down like butter. It will get stuck on itself just a little bit. So just if you shake it and give a couple little tugs, it breaks itself loose pretty well. But I mean, compared to the other fencing, this stuff is like gold handling it. So after we get that in, now we can start pulling these tight. So these go in really well. I'm just wearing tennis shoes and the ground is really hard. But he's spiking so much nicer than any of the other posts I've ever done. You can see right here it's catching. So we just are gonna go shake, shake, shake. And we just pull the bottom tight. Get the bottom set up, spike it in. So scooching down nice and tight, push it in. Alright, so this is what it looked like. There still is actually a lot of grass in there that they could pick through if they really wanted to. They've got the majority of it down, and I don't want them to start eating the trees out of boredom. So we ended up with about 75 to 100 feet of this plastic netting, and everybody's in there. They did start wandering all the way down to the horse pasture, so we had to kind of guide them back. I think they're finding the water over here. Hopefully. Come on, goose, 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 goose. Over here, guys. Come in. Come on, guys. Over here. Goose, 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 goose. Come on, goose, 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 goose. Come here. They're like 2 feet away. But it's hard to see in there. Oh, I think I got one coming. Once you get, there we go. Once you get one, that's all it takes. All right, and everyone's gonna jump in. These guys would love a pool, but just don't have that on the agenda yet. Ooh, I got a delivery today. I wonder if this is everything. That's what I think it is. This is gonna be so awesome. So excited for this. Let's go check it out. So we have a big box and a little box. And I think this is what my electrician has been waiting for. And we shall see. I gotta be careful because I don't know what's in here. This looks really intense. Wow. Look at this. We will see. Oh. What is this? Hold on. So I wasn't quite sure how this was going to arrive. We have one box that's arriving today and another box that's arriving next week. I was hoping it was gonna be the other way around, but that's okay. So let me show you what we got here. So first of all, you know how we have a giant door right there, and then we have another big door right there. And everyone is commenting about how all these windows are gonna heat the area up. You can see the light coming in right there already. Well, we might just have a trick up our sleeve. And in this case, it's gonna be a lot of tricks up our sleeve. So we have here a solution to that issue. Curtains, but not just any curtains. We have some of the coolest curtains I guarantee you will ever find on YouTube. But we're gonna wait to explain this until we get the rest of everything in here. But these things, oh my goodness, guys, these things are heavy duty. Look at this.
For some reason, when you think of an automated home, you think about the electronic doorbells, the electronic locks, and of course, the thing that everybody has the most fun with is the smart lights. But everybody forgets about curtains. In our house, when those windows went in, I looked at the sun crossing across the floor and I realized, how am I going to prevent this? I love the light coming through, but a curtain that tall, I don't want to leave it closed all the time, and trying to get up and down to run it open or run it closed is going to be a massive pain. I knew at that moment that my only solution to prevent fading of the floor and furniture from that sunlight was going to be electronic curtains. Now, I had assumed, like many of you probably, that electronic curtains meant plugging something in and I'd have a remote. It never dawned on me that I could control the curtains with my voice. By telling individual curtains to open or close, or set the percentage, or telling all of them at once to open or close. Wow, it was like magic hit the house. Having that as an option, whether on my phone or voice control, it's just absolutely fantastic. So I'm very happy to be able to have these in my house. And Smart Wings curtain systems, they have curtains for your doors, they have roller shades, they have zebra shades, they have a massive selection of window treatments. All of them are absolutely stunning. It was so hard for me to decide which one was going to be my favorite go-to because they had so many amazing patterns. They're all simplistic. There's nothing gaudy. They're going to stand the test of time. You're not going to look at them in 10 years and say, ugh, I really hate that.
All right, so right in here, here's the holder. It's all contained. I had assumed that there would be this round part right here would get popped in later, but it looks like it's all contained. See, here's our color. This is the midnight gray, and actually it looks very light. It's a lot paler than I was expecting. So, but I mean, that'll be okay. And I went with the black trim here because we have black trim windows. But you can get it in white or you can get it in fabric covered. So that's gonna go right up into the inside of the window there, and it's gonna match the window. So, but I did want to show you really quick what the fabric looked like. I'm not going to pull these out until we're kind of more ready to get them hung up, just for trial purposes. So this is the triple window. This one's going to go right up there, the short triple. Now the beauty of the Smart Wings automated curtain and blind system is that everything is interconnected. Erik was asking me about this, and this is probably one of the coolest things I have ever seen, and this alone sold me on the idea of a smart house. Before the blinds, I was thinking the whole thing was stupid. So, and you can set it up to any sort of automated home system you want, like Google or Alexa or whatever. We're actually doing ours, we have a Zigbee motor, so that's compatible with a wide variety of different home setup solutions. I prefer to have something that's not necessarily online, but that's just Wi-Fi operated, if that makes any sense. But you can have all of the curtains lower at the same time, or you can have certain curtains lower at the same time, or raised. So you also have the option of using a remote control. They gave us 2 remote controls, one to keep on this side of the house, and the other to keep on this side of the house, so you don't have to run back and forth between the rooms to locate your remotes. So you have the choice of remote control. You could do a wall mount if you wanted. You can use your phone, or you can use your voice. 4 different ways to control the curtains in this space. Definitely check out the link in the video description. I'm really excited to be able to put the Smart Wings automated blind system to use. They're going to be featured a lot in this build. They are a channel sponsor, so we are going to be showing you a lot about all the different things that these blinds can do. And definitely stay tuned to watch them in full operation on the channel. Erik has called it quits and he's decided to build some stairs. Fortunately, we can repurpose some stair runners that were cut incorrectly by our builder. So this is why we don't throw away materials. So we have the stair runner right here, and Erik has been playing with it to see what he can make with it. So right now these stairs are just temporary while we're working on the house, and then down the road, when we put the deck and everything on, we can go through and build new stairs for this. But this will be a good trial run, so if we don't get it right the first time, it's not a big deal. So because this is cement, anything that's in contact with cement has to have treated wood. So he has a treated wood floorboard that he's using. All right, so now we have our floor beam. I know it. Ugh. In case anyone with larger girth comes to visit, they're not going to break through the stairs. Ooh, that looks fancy. Look at that. I like it overhanging a little bit. Let's grab the last one. Plop around there.
It's not attached yet.
That doesn't stop me from walking on it. I'm afraid it's gonna flip over on me.
We'll just slide out on it.
I know.
Just
I think that's really good. It doesn't feel like it's overly steep. It doesn't feel like you're like severely climbing. It feels like a natural gradient. I think the height is really good. All right, we got them all measured and nailed in together and cut, and it looks really good. Might just decide to keep them.
longer than.
Eric's thinking 5 years. I'm thinking, you know what? I don't hate them. I think they look good. Better than just regular
We're probably
wood.
gonna get so busy with everything else. We're like,
Oh yeah, the stairs.
but it does need to have drywall behind.
Yeah, so why don't we put drywall behind them before we put the stairs up, Eric?
I don't have any drywall.
All right, well, they don't meet code, but they are sturdy. Woo! Yeah, the last one's gonna catch me. That's a little bit taller, isn't it? Hi, Ginger. She's like, I don't know about this. Good job. Did you climb the stairs? Come on, Daddy. There you go. Good job. And this is what we have to look forward to now. Dogs skating across the floor. Well, I'm a little bit bummed. Our Marvin Windows rep stopped out today, and I totally missed him. I thought he would probably call me to let me know he was here, but he just honked the horn and didn't hear it at all. But our sales guy picked up our window in their Holland office and drove it all the way over to our house. Now, he's the sales guy. He doesn't touch the windows ever. His job is just to sell them. But he was kind enough to go down there and pick up the window that we needed and hand deliver it. And I was going to talk to him. But here it is. This is our last window. Nothing fancy. This one goes up there. This was an add-in window. So that's why it took longer, because as we were building, we're like, yeah, I think we want an extra window right there. So the boys framed it in for an extra window, and then we ordered one through Marvin. And all of our windows came in on time. All of our windows were correct. All of our windows have been fully functioning, and so far, absolutely amazing. Now, we've run into people that have used North Star, and the results were the opposite. Not very good at all. So I think Marvin might have been a little bit better, or a little bit more expensive than North Star, but they're definitely better quality. And honestly, if you're gonna be getting windows, especially a lot of them, you need a rep in your back pocket that you can count on. And Marvin Windows in no way sponsored any of this build. They're just really nice people, at least in the Grand Rapids office here in Michigan. Rob, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yeah, he's the sales guy, and he's just super nice. And so like I said, he didn't have to go get our window for us. He saved us a trip, 2 trips actually, because we didn't have to go to Holland or his office in Grand Rapids. And then he got to see this, which is the big, beautiful, oh, I love this. This is perfect right here. You can see the whole thing. He hooked us up with this. And again, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to hold it for us, but he did. And again, nothing having to do with YouTube. He didn't even know that we did YouTube at the time. So yeah, just, I really can't say enough nice things about Marvin Windows. They're not necessarily, well, they do offer top of the line. We went with the middle of the road. So these are not vinyl, these are fiberglass. So this is a step down from the wood. So this is fiberglass on both sides. So the whole thing is one color. And these are all custom made for the house. Those are all custom. These are all custom. And our trapezoid window, which was the one that I was really nervous about, that was perfect too. So if Rob happens to watch this video, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, saving me a trip. One less thing that I have to do. And now the boys can get that window in and get the rest of the house sided and get this whole outside shell wrapped up and waterproof. Well, fall is definitely in the air, and as it happens out here in Michigan and everywhere else, it is getting darker as it gets later in the day. So now it's like 6:45 and it's already getting pretty dark. Not that you can see on camera again, but inside is a different story. Look how black it is in there. It's too bad we don't have electric so they can see to put in the electric. Whoa, look at that cord. That's some thick stuff. Are you making Eric go up there on the scaffolding to hook it up? Or just put the ladder next to the scaffolding, leaning precariously onto it? Don't even let him use the scaffolding.
I'll go up there.
With a ladder on the side instead of using the scaffolding? No, you wouldn't. If it's leaning up against the side of it, instead of using the scaffolding, you wouldn't even climb the ladder in the loft.
That's when it was over the edge.
It's the same thing.
I wouldn't climb that ladder like Jared is doing, where it's just like he had it supported like in the truss with like nothing between him and the ground whatsoever.
Yeah, I think at that point I need a grappling hook on the rafters.
You wouldn't even climb up it.
No, I'd have to have a belt on, like the deer safety harness, and then hook it to the rafter.
If the ladder slips out, you're going face down into the concrete.
Well, I'd cinch up my thing as I go.
It doesn't feel good. I had it once.
But you've done that?
What's that? The water. I haven't fallen.
He told me about your dad that fell.
Oh, yeah.
And killed himself.
Did he survive? I'm guessing he did because you're smiling.
Yeah, he did. That's a true story. Rebar went right through him.
Oh my gosh.
The scaffolding tipped over? Really?
Yeah, I think it was 2 stories up.
3.
3.
So how tall is this one? 2 stories?
That's
If you go to the top, it's 3.
3. Hey, 2. Well, this is 2 right here, maybe.
So you're climbing on this and it's not secured. Your dad would be so mad at you.
Oh, this is good.
Now you're supposed to have outriggers on it.
I mean, as long as you're not like monkey bar swinging off the side of it.
It makes
like,
a big difference locking the wheels in for like it feeling stable.
Oh, it definitely.
Without the wheels locked in, it's pretty sketchy.
he just ran in for some reason and then ran back out.
I have no idea.
What was that even?
You'll have to ask, if you get the inspector out here inspecting the wiring, ask him about the drywall, if it has to go all the way to the roof deck.
That guy like sneaks in like a panther. And it's always in the evening. It's always in the evening because we're out here throughout the day and then I'll come back the next morning or that evening and be like, where'd this sticker come from? I didn't even see anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, usually,
They have to sneak in and.
yeah, they don't want to be bothered, I'm sure. Especially if there's a house here already.
You know, electrician lady said they put a sticker on the meter box.
Yeah, once that's inspected, they'll have a
Oh,
sticker on the meter.
okay. So they'll be out there then.
And then, yeah, you just schedule everything with consumers. And they'll come out and.
And hook.
Maybe timely. Yeah. Yeah,
And then we can-
they charge you what, $50 minimum?
What's that?
Consumers per service you have on your property?
I have no idea.
You mean $50 a month?
Yeah, minimum.
Probably so.
Yeah. Even if you don't use any electricity, it's $50.
Really?
And the only reason I want to
The
run
heck?
back there is because I'm
Meter
calling the
rental.
barn.
Meter rental? Well, then they can have their meter back. I'm just going to rip it out and be like, I'll just go off grid.
Yeah.
For what? Meter rental?
If that's what it is, yeah, I'd be like, all right, here's your meter back.
There's no way they have meter rental.
Mhm.
No.
$50 minimum.
When did they start that?
It is, if you have 2 services on the same property.
Yeah.
Oh, so if we get rid of the other house, it'll go away.
Back when
Well, I hope you guys learned something new. If you guys learned anything at all in this video, give the video a thumbs up to let the algorithm know you found it interesting. And if you didn't learn anything new, well, check back next week because maybe you will then. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, you must hit the subscribe button because you are not going to want to miss what's going to be happening with this house. The big reveal's coming up where we're going to go through and put all the final touches on the outside, which is going to take her from a very plain, ugly duckling into a beautiful swan, I hope. So you definitely want to comment on that video and let me know if that's exactly what happened or if I'm just delusional. Maybe I am. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Tune in again next week. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.